Hey, what's up everybody? Wanted to say thanks for the last video. I wasn't expecting anybody to really see it even, and you guys showed some love and some great comments and some great feedback. So we're here with another video. This one's on Black Ops 6 settings, primarily for Warzone and for keyboard and mouse. I know there's a lot of controller videos out there, so I wanted to put something out for my main input, which is KBAM. This is me kind of distilling down a bunch of different videos that I've watched on the subject, the main one being a guy named @TechGuide. So if you want a really detailed video about graphics settings, I would go to him. I think he makes some of the best ones out there. So the goal here is to get everything down in the next 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just going to scroll through a lot of my settings so you guys don't have to worry about all the BS and all of that from watching all of this. So this is for a medium to high-end PC. I would say I'm on a 13900 KS with a 4090, but I think all of these apply to pretty much everything here. Low latency for me is on. Some people could be on plus boost. Just check your frames. You'll get more or less depending. Quality, I play on Fidelity Cast. I think it's by far the best. I like 70% on the strength here. I'm going to show you something on the control panel that helps with sharpness as well. So I think you can kind of play around with both of these settings for that. From generation off. VRAM scale you can have at 90 or anywhere down to 60, to be honest. Mine is very smooth on 90, so I keep it here, but I would drop it to 70 if you see any stuttering. Variable rate shading, I think you get some of the most frames for the least amount of work. I would put this on always. Texture resolution, I play at normal or high. You can drop it down to low if you have a low-end PC, but I really like the way it looks on Black Ops 6 with normal. Texture filter anisotropic, so this one's kind of controversial. I used to play with it on high or ultra. You really don't see much, maybe a frame or two loss on these, but you also see no visual difference. So I'm kind of playing around with that on low and seeing if I gain a couple frames, just because I didn't really see any difference on these two, but we'll try it out in Warzone to see if there is a difference. Detail quality, this is probably the only one that I play on high, where most people play it on low. I really just feel like I can see players a lot better because of the definition that this provides to the rest of the map. I lose about 3 to 5 frames for sure, but to me it's worth it for the visual clarity that I get. Pretty much everything else is on low except for on-demand texture streaming. Playing around with optimize versus minimal. Again, this kind of plays into the same thing that I had with detail quality. I feel like I get a pretty smooth gameplay and a very good visual with it on optimized, but I think if you have like anything less than like a 3070 Ti, I would try it on minimal. It's really not that noticeable of a difference, and I might switch back eventually, but for now I think this is worth it.
Not on our side. Finish him.
View 120 for Warzone, drop it down to 105, 110 for multiplayer. Make sure weapon field of view is on wide. It'll make you be able to see more around you and less of your weapon. At least 50% on the first-person camera movement are some of the most important. Hop on over to interface and go to readability here, color customization, and just copy this. This is the best. You really want to change this to filter 2, both, and make sure they're both at 100 there. So real quickly on keyboard and mouse, I'll flip through my keybinds really quickly, just so you can see what I'm running, but it's very personal and everybody has their own way of doing things. The one thing I would say to change for Black Ops 6 that was different is to dedicate a keybind to slide. Previously, I had my crouch and my slide as the same keybind. For Black Ops 6, you can do some cool things with movement if you bind a specific keybind to slide, so I'll show you that in a second. Sounds like I'm running out of my private match. Yeah, just scroll through these here. I didn't change much. I like to change my melee and my grenades. Movement, you want attack sprint on with sprint assist delay to 0. Sliders and backwards on. Everything else is kind of preference. You can change it up. We'll hop back into a match here in a second. That's pretty much it for the keyboard and mouse settings. I run 2.2 on 1600 DPI with 0.85 on the ADS sensitivity multiplier. And on the advanced settings, I like relative. Last in Modern Warfare 3 as legacy was the better option, but relative for BO6 is the way to go. So if you play keyboard and mouse and you're interested in why you want to dedicate a keybind to slide only, I'll show you a technique there. The kids are calling it skating, but it's basically chaining together slide cancels. And if you have it bound to crouch and slide, you cannot do this together. So it looks kind of crazy when you're doing it. Hopefully in this third person mode I can do it and kind of show you what it is. But basically you're just slide canceling in multiple directions, and it allows you to do multiple, and you can chain them all together. It's kind of good for peeking corners when you want to like come back pretty quickly. It looks a little crazy, but there are some practical benefits to it, and movement feels quite a bit smoother. If you had this bound to crouch and slide, you couldn't do as many in a row, even if you're like going upstairs and coming down. That's pretty much it. I'm going to show my control panel settings real quick because I think it's as important as in-game settings. Again, I'm just going to scroll through these so you don't have to worry about take a screenshot. Look at all of these. The biggest ones are power management mode, prefer maximum performance, and texture filter quality, either on performance or high performance. One thing that I think a lot of people don't talk about is the color of your screens. So adjusting the video color, you want the dynamic range on full, so it's 0 to 255. And then on the adjust desktop color settings, this is what I prefer. This is a lot of testing on what I think is best for my monitor, but I think it applies to a lot of them, with the gamma going up to 1.13, 77% on the contrast, 65% brightness, and 95% digital vibrancy. It really gives you a really vibrant in-game look, but I would at least increase this to 70 or above. And that is it. We're going to be streaming Warzone. I definitely play competitively as much as I can. We were Erie in all big map seasons when I was out in the last couple of games. So check me out on Clearly X at Twitch. And thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it, guys.